What's going on, everybody? I wanted to share my 5 main tactics, tricks, things to know about making money in this business. We are working towards actually exceeding our goals for 2023. I want to share some things that I use, best practices, some things I just learned recently, and some things I'm correcting for myself. So let's get into it. All right, so we're in the trailer. It's messy, gonna clean it up, but it's working. We're working out of it. So let's get right into these things. Some of this stuff I've been in practice for years. Some of this stuff I kind of implemented and changed around. So, you know, I'm always willing to, you know, adapt and change, and that's trying to, you know, be successful in this business. It's hard work. So these are like the main things that I've found that even this year, like, and I've gotten, you know, feedback from my customers. So that I always ask them, hey, how'd you hear about us? You know, what could I have done differently? You know, what I need something, you know, room for improvement. You can't offend me. So just say something that you guys would have liked to see me do better, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But most of them, I mean, almost all of them, they say my communication's great, and I have to agree because I do that to a fault, even with my, you know, kind of piss off my wife a little bit, and even on the weekends, you know, communicating to customers. So number one thing you probably should do, these aren't in order, but answer your phone, respond to texts or messages as soon as you can. I'm going to say this a couple times during this video, but time kills deals, and it's absolutely, like, a couple customers are like, you know, you were the one who answered your phone, and you're always communicating Johnny on the spot. I send a text, I get a text back. I send an email, I get an email back. I give you a call, I receive a phone call. So they really like that, and they said hands down I did the best communication of any contractor they hired. This is for, I think, 4 jobs last year. So answer your phone, respond to texts. If you can't, you know, voicemails, whatever. I tell customers, listen, you don't need to leave me a voicemail. If I see you call me, I'm calling you back. Period. So that's basically, I mean, you just need to respond to everything as soon as possible. Don't let it sit a day. Don't let it sit an hour if you can. Because I get to my truck, I look at my phone, I see somebody, I missed a call, I'll just call them back real quick. So you never know. I mean, it really helps out for sure. So communication, communication, communication. It's absolutely number one. Number 2 is don't wait to do estimates. This is something I had a tactic of, hey, I'm just going to do, like, on Thursdays, like on this year. If you guys are following my Patreon page, I'll link in the description. But I was like, hey, Thursdays are going to be my day to do estimates, like the admin times, blah, blah, blah. That is out the window. That's absolutely not what I'm doing this year because, again, time kills deals, right? So somebody calls me for an estimate. I don't do free estimates on site anyway. I do free, you know, remote estimates. If they send me pictures or video, whatever they need to, got no problem. Most of my stuff I can pretty much bid and give a pretty decent, accurate quote without, because for one, all my subs, I have their pricing ranges, give or take, and I already know what it's going to take. So I can give them pretty ballpark ranges, and it's pretty accurate. But if I need to go on site, I got to charge. My minimum fee is $250, and it goes up from there. Why $250, you ask? Well, because the truck that I drive, usually around $220 to $250 to fill it up. So yeah, if anything, I'm gonna get my full tank of diesel. That lasts me about a week or so, give or take. And if I don't get the job, at least I have a full tank of diesel. I can stay productive for the week, right? So, but it goes up from there. I've charged 4 figures for estimates because it takes time to do those big estimates. 6-figure jobs, it just takes a lot of time. So that's basically it. Don't sit on estimates. Somebody calls you for an estimate, you got it in your boat, get it off your plate and onto the customer or the homeowner, and make them say yes or no. You want to get that work off your plate as quick as possible. I don't want anybody waiting on me for anything. I already have that, and I'm trying to, you know, and you know, my wife's gonna laugh at this, but I try to get things off my plate to get it on other people's, you know, plate to deal with. You know, it's their job to say yes or no or hire me or ask more questions. It's off my schedule. I can move on to the next thing. So don't wait. Absolutely do estimates as soon as you can. Make sure they're accurate as best as you can. And I would say absolutely start charging for estimates as soon as you can. I know if you're new in the business, it's going to seem like it's impossible, but you're going to see your estimate, like your on-site estimates, just go into the tank because nobody wants to pay for it. But either you already have a good idea of what it's going to cost to do things, and or those customers were never your customers in the first place. You got to ask yourself, how many times are you going on site for a customer that doesn't hire you, and how much time is that? And I know some people are going to say that's just booked into the time, that's just the cost of doing business. It is not. That's bull crap. So that's time you could be doing something else productive and actually making money, or staying organized, or doing whatever, building a tool trailer out, getting yourself ahead, getting your family ahead in life, all that kind of stuff. So charge for estimates as soon as you can. Next one, say no. Now this is kind of goes with everything. You're going to say no to pretty much everything. If you want, you no to things you don't do. You don't want to do everything in a project. You don't want to be Johnny on the spot with everything. Say no, you don't do that service. No, you don't do that service, because it's not, you're not going to be efficient at it, and you can just stick to things that you're more efficient at and make more money at. So say no to customers for no, you don't give discounts. You only adjust the scope of work. If they don't like your pricing, they can take, scopes of work off. No bathroom, no this, no that. Or they can find somebody else. Don't discount your work. It makes you look bad. It sends a dangerous precedent to the customer, like your pricing is not concrete and they can haggle you. And for one, if you give a discount, then it shows them, hey, you're kind of overcharging me in the first place. Nope, absolutely not. No discounts. No, I got my notes here. Sorry. No, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Say no to customers that you don't have a good feeling. If it's any kind of red flag, honestly, I've never had, there's one customer that I knew was a red flag, and it's still, I charged what I thought it was going to, it still wasn't worth it. If you get red flags from the customer, just walk away, say they're not a fit. You're not going to work with them. It's a free market. They don't have to hire you, and you don't have to work with them. Just because they call you for an estimate doesn't mean you have to give them an estimate. If they call you to do some work, doesn't mean you have to say yes. You can say no, and you probably should. If you get that, that red flag warnings or whatever it is, talks too much. The customer's a lawyer, customer's an engineer. Those are red flags. And if you think they're not, then you don't know red flags. But I'm not saying they're a bad customer. I'm just saying you gotta weigh the pros and cons. So yes, say no to customers for 150%. So I'd say protect your time, and saying no to certain things. Like I just said no to somebody who knows me about doing some work that's, well within my wheelhouse. I can, no problem. I said no because I literally don't have time. Right now I'm starting on this coming week. We're starting another job, which means I'm going to have like 7 or 8 jobs going right now, which is about 4 more than I want going right now. So yeah. So this is more than I need. This is more than I wanted to. I'm driving from place to place. It's just a lot of work, and I just don't have time. If I do have time, it's going to be spent on this channel, on my Patreon, with my wife and child, of course, and obviously with the business itself. I just don't have time. I don't have time for side hustles. So this is my side hustle. I made it my entire career, basically. So protect your time. So next one. Act like you don't need the work. This means a lot. This has sold me jobs, because, hey, somebody's calling you up. Hey, no problem. I'm dictating when I can be there, or if I need to be there. I'm dictating everything to the customer. Like, you can ask them questions and stuff. Don't be a dick, but be like, this is what I can do. I can be there Tuesday. I can be there Saturday. I can have you the contract over here. Does Tuesday work? If not, then we can go to the next week, or we don't need to do the work at all. This is here's my price. Oh, I think I lost out on a garage build. It was like a 24 by 24 pad driveway. He wanted to buy the materials, which is already a red flag, but he wanted, just basic, shingle roof, only 8-foot wall. So nothing crazy. Like, I think it came out to like $49,000 or something. The guy came in at like 46. Outstanding. Are you only hiring based off price? Where do we go from here? That's just stuff that I got. If you guys want to read up on Tom Reber, his channel, The Contractor Fight, I use his stuff all the time. That's the phrase he came up with, I'm pretty sure. That's basically it. I didn't hear from him. I'm not coming down on my price. Acting like I don't need the work. I haven't gotten a call back from that yet. Who knows if I will, but I need to act like, and I don't. It's like, here, this is supply and demand. They have the demand and I have the supply. And obviously, since we're working, we're booked out. We got a lot of work going on. I can kind of dictate my schedule, which I do, but I do it tactfully, and I'm not a dick about it. I just like, hey, this is what we got. This is what I can do. No problem. This is my price. Okay, absolutely. Well, best of luck. Where do we go from here, kind of thing, and move on. So that's, I mean, that's the best thing I can do. And sometimes not getting work is almost makes me feel better than getting the job itself, because you're getting the job means you got more work to do, and that's just another thing. Let customers talk and just shut up. Like, I ask open-ended questions. I try to let them. They want to talk about their story. They want to talk about why they're, trying to buy, your services, all that kind of stuff. Just let them talk. Shut up, and you can talk yourself out of sales real quick. And I try not to do that. And I don't want to be creepy, like not talking at all. But I just don't want to overshare. That's the main thing. I've been accused of that. I have a YouTube channel, so I obviously like to talk, especially into a camera, but. I just like, hey, this is Joe Smith. This is what we're going to do. How do you feel about it? Is there anything, you have any other questions? How do you feel about our plan of an attack on this project? Start and finish dates, blah, blah, blah. Don't put finish dates on your contract. And don't even try not to put start dates on it. Time frames, fantastic, but just, no finish dates for sure. So next one, number 5, and I think I got a 6th one just for good measure here, but number 5 is own your mistakes. I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And you're going to make mistakes in front of customers. No problem. Be willing to own them up and fix them. No problem. Customers see mistakes. They're going to look to you like, how are you going to fix this? Bright, wide-eyed, and like, what's going on? Just stay calm. Like, hey, this happens. It's happened before. No problem. We're not perfect. We'll fix it. This is how we're going to fix it. Boom. Move on. So, that's it is what it is. I made a mistake hiring somebody a while ago, and a customer actually, like, if we didn't have a contract, blah, 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 we would, we would probably just, find somebody else, blah, blah. I was like, hey, Mr. Customer, and I told him exactly. I was like, technically they owed me some money, like maybe $7 to $8, maybe $1,000 because of where we were at in the project. I was like, I'll cancel it right now. You don't owe me anything. We'll go our separate ways, and I'll grab my tools off, and, you can hire somebody else, no problem, 150%. And the phone went dead. Like, because I called him out on his threat or whatever, and I was totally willing to walk away from that money, which I would always with that guy. And he's like, well, let me talk to my wife and let me get back to you. And I was like, all right, no problem, appreciate it. And I was like, there's no way he's firing me, or there's no way he's going to say yes to that, because, I could, I'm not going to like just abandon my contract. That's not good. I protect your reputation at all costs, obviously. And he called me back. He's like, no, we talked over it. We still want you to finish the work. But I was completely caught off guard by what you said, blah, blah, blah. I was like, exactly. Because hiring somebody else, finding somebody else to deal with his crap, blah, 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 it's not going to be worth it. He can't find it. There's no way. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not replaceable, but it's just a lot of work to find somebody else you can trust to do the work, etc., etc. So, and it is what it is. I made a mistake. Was it last week? I was supposed to insulate a subfloor. I forgot. I spaced out. When I ordered it, I saw that the insulation didn't come on the order, and I've been busy. And the guys are there, and they subfloored it, and there's no insulation. The customer just called me, hey, Richard, I didn't see any insulation. And he's like, you know what? Exactly right. I totally, it wasn't. I ordered it, but it didn't come on because for whatever reason. And I saw it. I caught it. I didn't address it at the same time, and I'm working on that because this is my fault. But I got to put everything in my calendar. If I need to do something, it's got to be on the calendar. But I was like, yeah, no problem. We're gonna tear that up. We're gonna put it back down, bring it down. We'll get it done. I'll get an extra man on it. We'll get it done in the same amount of time frame. No problem. We'll take care of it. And he was like, hey, you brought it up. I gave him the reason. I owned it. I told him what we're gonna do to fix it. Fantastic. That's just the kind of the best way. He's like, awesome. And then he's like, that's why we hired you. So I was like, hey. And now, that being said, owning your mistake, if you're GCing a job, no matter if it's a mistake on your subs, it's your mistake. It could be absolutely your subcontractor's fault, but it's your mistake. So you got to own it. The customer is hiring you as the general contractor, so they don't have to hire all the subs, blah, blah, blah. So they just, they have a problem, they come to you, and then they make it your problem, and that's what you're paid for. That's why you have your markup. That's why you should be getting your 50% gross profit or more. Do I make it that? Oh, not always. It's, something, but it is what it is. But that's what you can go, you need to have a small plug. You need to have a contract with your customer and you need to have a subcontractor with all your subcontractors on every job, period. If you guys want to, I'll link in the description. I'll put my email address. You guys can reach out to me, email or phone. I sell a copy of my subcontractor agreement and my contract. You're going to have to modify it pretty heavily if you're in Florida or California, but pretty much every other state is good to go. Still, obviously, review it with a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but yeah, go with that. So, own your mistake. Just remedy. Tell the customer, you know, this is what we're going to do, and just own it, period. And have those, and there's going to be some sort of, you know, change order or whatever, those difficult conversations about, you know, what customers don't want to hear. Have those difficult conversations right up front. Do not wait on them. Don't let them fester. I had a customer, you know, he called me. He's like, Richard, you're bleeping me, blah, blah, blah. This is all like, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? And then, you know, something so minute, like it's, you know, something so small to me, but it might not be small to them. And, you know, so I was like, all right, you know, he's like, you're blah, blah, blah. And then he was actually like bad mouthing me to my subs that are on site. And so I was like, all right. So I, you know, time out, went to the job site in person, and the guy was completely cordial to me, you know, because it happens, like if you're on the phone or via text, you can be a tough guy, but once I'm in front of you, or you want, you know, you see me face to face, it's a completely different story. You're not going to say that to my face. I looked at everything. One thing was a small issue that we fixed right away, and the other thing, he was completely blown out. I called him. I was like, "That's not our problem. That wasn't in the contract. This blah blah blah. This over here was not in the contract. Yes, that was in the contract. We'll take care of that. It's not even on the schedule for today." And then so he just kind of like simmered down. Fine, no problem. But me being on site, him seeing me in person, his entire demeanor changed. So. But you need to have difficult conversations right away. I don't want to like, oh, you know, blow it off or just keep texting him back, or, you know, tell him I come back there the next day, because that makes him sleep on it. And nope, just nip it in the butt right away. That's what I can tell you right there. So speaking from experience. So I try to do the best I can for customer service, but I'm always learning. And sometimes things get lost in the sauce, and things just fall through the cracks. What you know. I would hire somebody if they would take the job. I doubt it. So, and I can't afford my wife. So number six, this will be the last one, I think. Have a contract and subcontract. Have a contract with your customer, between both of you, detailed out with a clear scope of work, period. Now, do I do it every? No. If somebody's just, you know, if we're doing like less than $1,000, I'm not worried about it. Something happens, I'm just gonna write it off. Like honestly. So over $1,000, contract 100%. Now here in Michigan, I think you have to have a contract, and you have to be licensed in Michigan. So one of those things. But over $1,000, we get a contract. Period. And with a subcontractor, if it's less than $1,000, I'm not gonna have a subcontractor agreement. But over $1,000. Subcontractor agreement 100% with a detailed scope of work of what is included, what is not included, dictate terms. You as the general contractor, the main contractor, license holder, whatever you want to call yourself, dictate how the job needs to be done, and you hold them to it. So that being said, again, reach out to me if you need a copy of those. Shameless plug, but we are all done with this video. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for letting me yell at you for, I don't know, where we're going on, like 10 minutes or so. But yeah. Appreciate it, you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next video.